and that person is this. With those labels in itself, it's like, okay, however we label ourselves, it shouldn't be a problem to another brother. You see what I'm saying? So if you raise your consciousness, then it's on you to go back and raise the consciousness of other people. Because back in the day, we used to have a reach one, teach one thing. And as far as what Royalty was saying earlier, I'm for where I come from. If somebody produced paperwork on a nigga, it's over with. Especially when they have anything to do with children. We gonna kill his ass. It ain't no fucking talking about it. And I'm saying that on the app. I don't give a fuck what it is. If you hurt children or you hurting women, and to a certain extent, because we don't get involved in relationship shit. But when it comes to children shit, bro, that's your motherfucking ass. It ain't gonna be no talking out of it. And I know a lot of these dudes on this app pretend to be certain things, but I ain't the one. So if she produced the paperwork, then I mean that's just all it is with that dude. But as far as what you Cosmic, all I can say is we all the same, bro. It don't matter what part of it. A lot of us come from the suburbs, some of us come from the hood. When I say hood mentality, or he said hood mentality, the moment we start discriminating and associating that with just pure violence, because there's a lot of other stuff going on in the hood. The hood also got mailmen. We got stores. We got people who are building in the hood. It's not just people killing in the hood. It's not, since the people that are killing the hood, the me's and a couple of other dudes that I grew up around, most of us have mental health issues derivative from those school systems that they put us in, because we couldn't master their core curricular systems. We start feeling less than, and then we took back to the streets because they had our parents incarcerated. So it was it's a balance of both things. The school system saying, well, you're not smart, so you can't go to college, you can't go to this, you're going to end up in the military. To us saying, fuck this shit, fuck the whole system as a whole. And the first people that we have to run to is our people. And then it becomes tribalism. And I don't agree with the tribalism part of it, but that system of school is the very beginning of where somebody falls mentally or falls discouraged inside of the ghetto. That's literally how it starts. That's why I was saying a lot of guys in prison are more freer than some of the people that I've met that's supposed to be free. Because they say I'm on this level of consciousness, but they haven't even surpassed the level of consciousness that white supremacy is on. And that's a low vibrational level. Once you surpass that level of white supremacy, then you can start seeing things for what it really is. And whether you go about it by moving away somewhere and getting away from the structural society, or you go about it by fighting the structural society from within it, either way it goes, once you realize the systems that they put in place are against you, it's on you to start fighting against those systems.
All right. So I think, so I want to respond both again to Nature Boy and Troller. I think there's been some sort of, maybe I communicated myself wrong here. I never said separate. I never said disassociate. Those words never came out of my mouth. I think it may have been implied, or you may I think you may be thinking I'm thinking those things. What I am saying is that people need to understand that God is within. Let me say it like this. People need to get to the understanding that God is within. People need to cultivate the divine consciousness that is within themselves. Become a beacon of light within themselves. Go to your family and become a beacon of light for your family, so your family can be in the community. I think I said that. In the community, so that the community can benefit the nation. This is what I've said. And so spiritual development is not necessarily all about going off into the mountains and becoming Jehudi. Like I said earlier, spiritual development is not necessarily, because Jehudi is by himself chilling, right? I said become Heru. Heru with the understanding of Jehudi, with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Jehudi is a direct descendant, so-called, I mean, this is mythology, everybody. Jehudi is a direct descendant of Ra. And so Jehudi has the divine understanding of how the universe operates, the intuitive understanding of Ma'at, without having to go through the mental exercises of trying to figure out what's balanced and what's right in the situation. So with the Heru faculty within the self, with the knowledge that you have to come and you have to establish order out of chaos, you come back to where you're from and you establish order out of chaos. So much of and address. So don't think I'm saying, but that hood. When I say hood, if you're talking about staying in this mentality that like causes chaos, that causes so-called or perpetuates generational curses that we need to transcend. That is what I am saying needs to be done with. That it needs to, and we need to cultivate. And people saying God is within. Cultivate a consciousness of ethics and morality that make you strive to manifest to be your best self, so that you're using all of your faculties in a way that you're not abusing yourself and abusing others. And that what you're doing is you're using your talents and your energy to benefit and develop the community and defend the community. This is what I'm speaking on. So I want to be very clear. I'm not saying separate our whatever else you all are saying in reference to being separate from the people. I'm saying cultivate the divine consciousness within, cultivate talents and skills within, and improve the conditions so that other people do not have to suffer.
I'm trying to do that, bro.
It's about alleviating the pain. Wait, and let me address the other issue. So this. Okay.
This is my family. This is literally my family members. It's not people that are.
Brother Troll, I'm not attacking. I'm not attacking.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not even taking it as an attack. Just let's hear me out for a second. These people are not trying to hear about Haru, Aset, or none of that stuff. Exactly. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because mythology is cool for us to know as the conscious once you get to a certain level. But the problem is what they don't understand is they shut down this whole freeway. This is one of the biggest freeways in the United States. This was just 2 days ago. These are young dudes. They shut down a whole freeway for hours. The police couldn't do nothing because it was a core military dude of people. I want you to understand this. Look this up. They shut down the 110 freeway for hours. And I want you to understand why that's important. It's important for us to understand how much power we actually have. They fear us in the physical form. They fear us more in the spiritual form. You're correct in that. But to get these people to spiritualness, you're not going to do it by talking about a set of a rule. You're not going to talk about none of that stuff to these guys right here. So my thing is, how do we get the message that you're pushing into the minds of these guys? You see what I'm saying? How do we become the balancing between the two? How do we get these dudes to not lose their inner fire?
Wait. I want to address.
That's what I'm doing.
I'll come to that. But like,
this
is why I said I didn't.
Can I just say this because my phone about to die? Because just in
that
case
was my only question.
I agree with what you're saying, Brother Cosmic, and you're right. You have to be trifold in your understanding. You know, in your Set Heru and your Tahuti. You follow, like most gang organizations would teach you to be, well, at least in what I was in, like we represented by the 6-point stars, unification of the lower and higher self, you know, becoming a perfect unificated self. So in order to do that, you have to have wisdom of your higher self and lower self. And you know, you're more, I guess, disruptive natures, you know, because even in gang organizations, when you in jail, like I'm trained to hate, right, as a gang member, so people say. But when you get in a space like jail, you can't admit or be the initiator of any verbal or physical disrespect towards any other member of any organization, regardless of what their gang is. You will be brought up on charges by your own organization and be dealt with consequently. So, like, I agree with what you're saying. I just think that the overall dynamic is you know, skewed in our perception to a degree, because you have this perception that's saying I have transcended these particular areas in my life and I don't see them as necessary. Not saying that they're completely dissolvable, like they don't aren't needed at all, because that's not what you're saying. You're saying that they're needed with discipline and guidance and structure. And if the discipline, guidance, and structure is not there, it becomes chaotic. And that's the same thing we say in Chicago. If they would have never took the disciplines, guidance, and structure from what we did have, you know, there would be a lot less chaos, because, to be honest, a lot of those young guys who don't have fathers do look to those gang structures for community, unity, and some form of acceptance and understanding, especially as a rites of passage for masculine energy. Because if you raised in a single-parent household by a woman that's more than likely a practicing misandrist, right? And she has this overall view and perspective. Even if she don't down talk your father, she has an overall negative perspective of black male energy. You're going to run from that, and you're going to try to find a place where you're accepted. So what do you go to? The place where the most toxic forms of you can be accepted, whether it be male or female, because in gangs women exist too. So there's a large dynamic of understanding that baby folks is born through folks women. So we don't come out just GD on our own. There's a very large dynamic of the women that transmute the culture to the children as well. They were the first to teach the kids how to really gangbang. And why? Because their behavior of teaching the child anything is usually the most uncorrected, because no one feels they can interfere with the woman and her child. So if she want to teach his little ass to gangbang, you can't say nothing, especially if that ain't your baby mom or your sister or your wife or your relative. There's a different restriction on community communication. Like, no one could correct anyone. No one could tell anyone, don't jump on my damn car. Don't stand on this block. Don't sell drugs in front of my house, because it's not about the overall communication anymore. Because like you said, Brother Cosmic, the overall discipline, guidance, and structure is not present. And I think that's the issue he has. I think if the overall guidance was present, he wouldn't have an argument like he don't have an argument with Nature Boy, because even though he has his disagreements, he's like, well, there are people who are actually benefiting whether people like it or not. And because of that, I don't even feel like I should even, overindulge in the engagement. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's a masculine trait. That's the man in you. That's just the man in you. You like, shit, I accept it for what it is. Whereas the modern day energies that we deal with would rather us lynch him, burn him, and castrate him at the same time. So.
So, and there was a second part in reference to the education piece. Brother, I 100%, maybe I wasn't able to say it that way, but I'm 100% Kimus with what you're saying. So, this is going to just be straight out of different books. So, Brother Nature Boy, what you kind of represent in our community is like the maroon type of spirit, right? And so that's kind of we had in our community, for ages, maroons that would just say, look, fuck this society, I'm out, I'm in the mountains, and I'm gonna establish a way of life that is beneficial to those and those around me, right? So when we're dealing with what we're dealing with in our life, right? Neely Fuller kind of put this in the best way. The system has there's 9 major areas. I mean, this is just a framework. Don't take it. Everybody puts things in frameworks, but there's at least 9 major areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor law, religion, politics, sex, and war, right? And the system that we're in has informed us on all of these areas. And so when we talk about white supremacy, racism, so to speak, unless we've taken a time out of our lives to redefine our understanding in all of those areas of human activity, then we're still affected. And once we have redefined ourselves in all of those areas, others are still affected. And so it is incumbent upon those of us that know this, that have this understanding, to go back into the society and help out to the best way we can. And so in that respect, at the very least, in some fields, and the impact that I can make is assisting other young brothers and sisters in navigating the educational field that they're gonna find themselves in, period. Like I know you agree with going off into the woods and going off into wherever you are and creating your own society in that form, in that fashion. And brothers and sisters that resonate with that frequency are gonna go there. In the meantime, we have millions of our children in these other situations. Right. And so it is of great benefit to still be there. Like the young brothers and sisters that all come to me, they all love crystals, they all love meditating, they all love crystal bowls, and they, I kind of put it on like, I'm very careful with how I spread it. But the most important thing I'm concerned about is teaching that young brother. I don't teach them the skills. What I teach them is that they can. What I do is I press them so hard, I make that faculty work. And I show them what they need to do to teach themselves how to learn. I don't teach them to learn. I push that faculty of learning within them. There's a community of pressure in my room of learning, where students are rewarded, students feel good about mastering certain skills. And so, the students in my classroom call themselves masters, right? Oh, I've mastered this, I've mastered that. The students are calling themselves masters, and students see other students making progress, and the student that's acting up because they can't, the student that's acting up because they can't participate with the rest of the students, they go home and they practice hard on what I am trying to teach. I had one student that just acted up all year, and the primary reason he acted up is because he didn't believe and didn't know how he could learn. And then he took all my materials one spring break, I had like 40 or 50 books, young decodable books that I gave him. And then he came back to me after spring break. He said, I read all of them. And then he's reading on grade level. And then now he was one of the highest students in the school by the time he was in 5th grade. So the specific role that I am playing right now in order to address the chaos that the system has put in our community is to teach our young brothers and sisters to read, to navigate through certain chaos that's going to come in their life, period. So, right, brother, you have a different mission in the maroon side of the equation. But we have to understand and be multidimensional and multidirectional in our address of the situation that we find ourselves in.
I can agree with that.
As we try to reestablish, I'll let you speak, brother. Let me finish though. Bro, as we try to reestablish,
like 2 hours, dog. Like,
no, he hasn't.
Everybody kind of
agree with he's not long-winded. He was very long-winded, and every time I start talking, they just straight cut me off. So I just want to listen.
But Nature Boy, like 3 people attacked me at once, but not attack, but address me. Let me 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, brother.
Listen.
Let me just say, we have to be multidimensional, multidirectional, multi-layered in our approach to establish ma'at and balance in this world.
Right. What I'm saying,
we have to understand that.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go because I can see it's about to turn into something else. So that's what I'm gonna say. Your only responsibility in life is you and your family. You as a black man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I had to figure this out. You're not going to be able to save the world. You're not going to be able to save that world. You have to understand one thing. Get you and your family and get the fuck out of there. And I'm going to tell you this, because the world doesn't need to be saved. You need to save yourself and your family. It's not running. It's not running. It's elevating your mind and your family and getting the fuck out the system. So you're trying to save the world when you need to just save yourself and your family, immediate family, and leave. And it's the only way, because if the whole world died, I had to figure this out. If the whole world died, and y'all can have it, if the whole world died and you and your family survived, then at the end of the day, we all survived because of you. I had to figure that out. This is why I left, because I realized I am my people. I am the hood. I am my people. Me and my woman and my family right here could populate this whole earth, and if we survive, all of us survive. You have to realize we're in the age of Aquarius, meaning that you don't just represent you no more. You represent the collective. So what you do, you're making the people do. So you and your family have the balls to disassociate yourself with the shit completely and build on your own. And that's what I'm doing. That's the key. And that's the answer to this shit. If you don't know that, then you're playing with this and you have attachments to it deeply on a subconscious level. And that's just that. Either you want to really make the solution starts with you. Be the change.
Hey, Nature Boy.
The change.
I can agree with that to a certain.
Before you go.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, number 7, real quick. Real quick, bro. I've been waiting the whole time.
No. Hold on.
Look. You answered my question number 4. I respect what your answer was.
You see how they do me? You see how they do me?
Damn, bro. You just got up here.
But I'm just trying to get a...
You see how they do me, though? You see how they do me, though?
I didn't cut you off, Nature. I waited. You muted. You was muted the whole time, Royalty. You're muted. You're still muted, Royalty. I didn't mean to cut you off, Nature. I was trying to cut 7 off because I was waiting.
8 because he
dropped number 8.
Yeah, number 7. I've been waiting for them to finish. When Nature Boy done, let me speak, bro.
I got you. Number 4. You see what I'm saying? Like every time I start talking, I get cut off. Like every single time. When you start talking, they just let you burn. And I just try to come in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to make an example to show you this. I made key points and I just keep getting cut off. And I'm really done, but it was like, yo, you see what I'm saying? I ain't get that same vibe.
No, I wasn't cutting you
And I
off. I
hit
was
y'all
still at
with
number 7. I was waiting.
I hit y'all with a serious gem. The most serious gem that you can get, I hit y'all with.
So
The
look,
most crucial point that you ever could understand, I just hit you with it.
what you just said about nation building with your family, I'm 100% with that. When it comes to my child, my son is in the other room right now. You see what I'm saying? I keep my kids close. My thing is, that's a fact, what he's saying about that. And that's a fact, what you said, number 4. We got to be multi-directional. Like, we got to hit from
No, the
different
hell we don't.
aspects.
No,
Yeah, but we do. I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody don't receive the same knowledge the
You are
same
the
way.
we though. You are the
Yeah.
we though. What I'm trying to tell you is that you
No, I
are
get that. I get
you
that. But hold on, let me
are
finish what I'm
it.
saying, Nature Boy. You see how I waited for you? Wait for me. The
I
same
got you.
way.
Go ahead.
I didn't. That wasn't me to cut you off. Now, this is what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying. We are the we. I'm the God of my household. I create the future by creating my son, by creating my daughter, and making sure that I'm there to watch their steps and making sure this knowledge gets downloaded into my child. I also, though, the only difference is what I'm saying is I also stay in my area. I'm not scared to go back to South
See,
Central
that's
and deal with people in my hood and inform them on enlightenment, because the thing
nah.
about it is our people think they free. They think they free. And because you
You
freed
can't
yourself,
save these
you
people.
can't
You save
run.
yourself to save your people, is what I'm telling
Nature,
you.
well, I'm saving people every day, though.
No, you
That's the thing.
save
Somebody
yourself.
saved me.
Never mind, man. Y'all
Can,
not really
Somebody
can,
grasping
saved me,
the
though.
level of consciousness I'm talking about, bro.
Who saved you,
If you
Nature
wanna
Boy?
listen, let me tell you something.
hmm.
I saved me. And y'all
Who,
don't understand that. Y'all don't understand that this world is yours. You're in your own reality. This is just high level of
did you
consciousness.
not just say you got some information from
And the whole
Malachi Z. York?
hell no, I ain't get none of my information from Malachi Z. York. I'm just being honest with you.
What about the guy that y'all was just arguing about at the
Listen, I got
barbershop?
my knowledge. I got my knowledge by going into nature and isolating myself from people, and then the knowledge came from within my DNA. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I did research online to be able to articulate myself to people through their language and in their ways of using research, right? So the information is already in you. If you just cleanse your body and isolate yourself from the stuff long enough, you're gonna wake up, because it's the time and place for us to
Man,
wake
I
up.
don't know about that, bro. You on the
Excuse,
internet
I'm,
right
I'm gonna
now.
let
My
y'all.
thing is, you can be in the woods, but if you on the internet, you
The
still
internet is
connected
where I
to
put my
society.
information on the internet. That's why I put
You
my.
still
This is
connected
my.
to society.
But
This
my.
is the grid.
This is
This
what I'm
is
saying.
the grid.
I'm all right. Y'all be good, man. Y'all be
I'm
good.
just saying,
I'm
if you
trying to build
own the
with y'all.
grid, you can't talk about
Nah,
leaving
you
the
not.
grid
You
if you
not.
on
You're
the
not.
grid, bro.
What you're not understanding is I'm only. Like my work. My work is online, bro. Like I put
I
my work
get that.
online. Like listen. But I'm not associated physically. I put my work online, but physically I'm disassociated. If it pop off, I'm all the way over here. What I'm telling you is that I'm prepared to
So how
survive
you getting
without.
information to the men in the hood that you was talking about?
I just
Cause now you
told you.
losing me right now. We was
I
talking about
just
niggas in the hood. Then
I
you
just
talking about
told you
you
that most of my
disconnected from that.
followers. I just told you that most of my followers listen from jail cells. I just told you that. I
Oh,
just
cause
said that most of my followers listen from jail cells. I just said that.
no, I didn't. Okay, I'm listening to you, bro. But you got to remember, one, you cut me off just now. Two, you're on the internet, so you're connected to everything anyway. When I'm saying the same shit you saying, except I'm saying
Nah,
I'm
bro.
going back there physically. I don't
Nah,
have
that's
no
not. It's
fear
just
of
not the
white
same thing.
supremacy
It's
or
one
of
thing to
people.
reach back. It's one thing to lead the hood and reach back and get information for niggas to get out. It's another thing to stay in the hood and try to teach people how to get out. Like the goal is to get out
I'm
the
not in the
system.
hood. I'm literally out of the
Never
hood.
mind, man. I'm gonna go, yo, y'all.
hey,
It's
hey,
impossible, bro. It's
before you
impossible.
before you
Nah,
go,
man, you say what you saying is
Nature Boy,
illogical to me. You getting out of the system, but remaining in the system by remaining in the internet, and that's what I don't get. It's a contradiction.
Bro,
On top of that,
you're
hold
not
up,
getting
hey,
it.
hold on. On top of that, right? My baby mother be on this app the same way your baby mother be on this app, except my child is sitting right here
Bro,
in the other
like
room.
this is not it's not the same thing, bro. I don't like to argue with men, man. You got your own
Yeah,
mind.
I'm not
You
about to
ain't trying to
argue.
understand.
You cut me
You ain't
off
like
though. You do
You got
understand that. You cut me off to say what you believe in, and I'm telling you, I don't disagree with what you believe in. I'm telling you, though, you are leaving and running from the problem.
it's
That's
not
how
running
I
from the
look at it.
problem, brother.
You
Because
are.
the
You in the
problem
middle of
is
the woods, bro, on the
the problem
internet getting your haircut.
the problem is in you. What I'm saying to you is, you understand what I'm saying? Like, your problem is within you. And what you're not understanding what I'm building
That's
over
Jihad
here.
al-Nas, though, right? Jihad
It's not.
al-Nas. You know what
No,
Jihad al-Nas is?
no, bro.
Come
All
on,
right,
you.
fuck it. All right, fuck it. So when the economy fall, we'll see what kind of position you're in and what kind of position
Bro,
I'm
when
in.
the economy fall, I'm going to be in a better position than you. I promise you. I'm going to have a military behind me on top of the fact weapons. And I don't need their money. That's a
Bro,
fact. I don't need their
you're not
money.
gonna have
I
no
have their
military.
money.
You feel me? The ship was coming.
Hey,
You feel me? I wanted to hear God body before I left, though.
please. All right. Hey, first of all, I want to share this with you. I've never ever done nothing to none of my sisters, my black sisters. Never, ever. All right. Now, first of all, Nature Boy, you have a very good point. Number 4, you have a very good point. But here's the thing: when the smoke is about to go down, you know, the good Lord always sends a warning out to his people.
What the fuck?
He say, wait, listen, man. Yo.
Man, yeah, this shit is going left, bro.
Man,
Listen,
comprehend what the brother's saying.
I got a right to speak.
Man, I don't have to do that.
Okay, so now listen. It gives you a warning whenever the shit's about to hit the fan. The good Lord gives you a warning. He says, "Come out of her, my people. Separate from her." Whatever is about to go down, he tells you. That's a warning. Now, and here's another point that I wanted to make. It is very good to have a place to where people can go to that don't want to be a part of that system anymore. It is very important and very needed. Okay, but at the same time, anybody to say that they're conscious or anybody to say they're on the God level, you must stick with the ship. Lead the people over to safety, but you must stick with the ship, because sometimes we jump the gun too quick. You know what I mean? And when we start to separate and going this way and then going that way, we actually make it weak. So I'm just saying, women and men, the black women and the black men, need to find a way to come back together and love again. There is no love between the black woman and the black man no more. So that's all I gotta say. And I just want to tell everybody, hey, it's a nice conversation. Y'all building. Let's make something happen of it. All right? Peace.
So the one thing I want to say, I think nobody heard it. We are existing in a multi-layered, multi-dimensional system where we need multi-directional approaches.
That's an excuse, man. That's an excuse
Brother,
for you to
wait,
hold
Nature
on to
Boy,
your
Nature Boy,
attachments.
wait. No, stop. You right now, in order to get your message across, are using multi-dimensional ways. Because what Trolla is talking about is if you just stayed in the mountains without accessing Babylon, so to speak, you wouldn't get your message.
But it's different.
No. It is, you are using multi-dimensional tactics in order to get your message across.
Yeah, but it's different.
If you look at things in a linear, one message, one way thing rules all, that's not going to work, and that's not the way history, not the way society. Brother, hold on 1 second, please. I'm asking you to hold on 1 second. If you look at it, if you don't understand, in order to solve our situation, we have to do it in these ways, and we have to do it in multi-dimensional ways, multi-approaches, multi-layered. If you're saying there's just one way, you're going to be incorrect.
No, I'm not saying it's one way.
Any society that has developed along those lines, understanding that there are multiple approaches, just like
but
you
not
all
staying
said,
in the same thing that makes us sick. We cannot stay. We cannot stay in the same thing that makes us sick.
You have to let me finish.
When
I'm done, I will be silent.
We
When I'm
cannot
done, I will
stay.
definitely be silent. Hold
Listen,
on
we
a second.
cannot stay in
Brother
the
Nature
Y'all,
place
Boy, wait,
we got
wait.
healed.
Now,
y'all
this
just
is
We
why it's
cannot
called
heal
royalty. I
in the
don't come up
very
on panels
environment
because
that
I'm
made
not
us
trying to
sick.
overtalk. I'm not
you
trying to
can't create
overtalk.
another society if you can't control your own household.
Right. So
Until
wait,
you have
wait.
an
No,
actual
no, the
roadmap of a society, there's no way you can
And
create another society if you can't even control your own household.
number four,
That's just a maturity thing. That's a
number four was
maturity thing.
speaking. Number two, number four
Yeah,
was
I heard number 4. I was also
that's
speaking
rude.
when you
You're
cut
being
me
rude.
off, though.
That's why we.
Yeah,
That's
bro,
why
I
we
was
arguing.
also speaking when you and Nature
No,
Boy cut me
number
off.
four was talking.
Go ahead, number 4. Go ahead, Cosmic. I don't need you to tell me nothing, though,
Well, I'm just
because
saying
you
you need
cut
to
me off.
order, brother, order.
This dude. Look,
listen.
don't ask for
Anybody
order now.
to anybody that's listening,
Go ahead, fool.
we need a multi-leveled approach. Not everybody. We got GDs on the. We had GDs. We have Crips on the panel. We got Maroons on the panel. We got Kemites on the panel. All of us are saying that we need to improve the community. Nobody's
There's
going
7
to take
men out
one
of order.
approach. Two different comedic. Right now, we got two different comedic philosophies talking to each other, understanding the benefit that we each play towards the development of our people. If we can't understand that and respect our lane, then it's going to be a problem. I've respected your lane, Brother Nature Boy. If you can't understand that this has to be an approach that other people are taking, that's going to limit the ability of your being effective
No, I'm not.
in your
I'm not
approach.
saying that. I'm not saying that.
You have to be, and that's the reason why you have a group of people rocking with you, and that's the energy and frequency you got on. But there's a large number of people that are still trying to rock.
It's not
with
about
society.
numbers. It's not about numbers, bro. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's about
just take a note,
quality over
brother, and
quantity.
talk. Take a note of
It's
like
about
I've been doing.
quality. No, you have to converse.
Wait, no, I'm not. No, this turns into
conversing. You
argument.
wanna
What
give a
happened to you in number
dispensation.
2? This is what happened with you.
Nah,
If you
nah,
just
nah,
allow
nah.
me to converse, if you
No,
allow me
but
to
you
converse,
Look, look,
can't cut
look,
me
look,
off in the
look,
middle of a thought.
let Nature Boy finish real quick, and then I'm gonna talk because both of y'all cut me off, including number 7, who for some strange reason keep trying to cut me off again.
right,
And if he
right.
do it again, I'm gonna check him
Man,
because he don't know me like that.
I'm not saying nothing. What you put me in it for?
Go ahead, number 5.
You need to chill your butt out, man.
Nah, man, I don't need to do
way
nothing,
too
bro.
aggressive.
Hey, let's not get emotional. Let's not get emotional. Hey, yo, so
Right,
listen.
you're way too aggressive.
This
Let's
dude
get
came in cutting people off and trying to organize it.
Go ahead,
all
Mr.
right.
Boy.
So listen, what I'm saying is we're just conversing. What that means is like conversing is like dancing. It's a rhythm to it. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just coming in at a point that you make. At the end of a point, I come in right in at the end of the point. I'm not cutting you off. It's just that I'm not allowing you to linger on into another to linger on into explaining it more. I'm just trying to get to a point and converse. It's called conversing. It's not cutting you off. I just want to make you understand that. Like if I'm talking and I finish a point and you come in to ask a question or make a comment about what I just said, that's called conversing. That's not cutting off. It's just simple as that. What I'm saying is, and we can have a good conversation back and forth. We could actually allow each other to converse back and forth with short points, and it'd be more effective than allowing you to just talk all the way out. Then I talk all the way out. And it kind of like drags it on. I don't mind you.
I don't know.
Timing it.
I know, brother Troller. Would you like to speak?
No, I wanted to address what you said. I just wanted to explain.
But I want him to finish talking because he wants to talk. My thing is this, right?
Look,
I agree with what you said when it came from different directions because we do need different directions. So what I was asking you before was, what was your method, right? And you gave that. So when you answered that, I never got a chance to talk to you after that because it's just been a whirlwind of bullshit. But either way it goes, I respect that you saying you coming from a different direction. I might not completely agree or understand your direction the way you coming, right? But I do think that it does have to happen, especially with the first graders, because that there's a learning curve that happens, I think, around second or third grade, according to psychology. And if you do get to people before first grade, and this is somebody who has a newborn son, I do understand the psychology of getting into the mindset before first grade. So the only question I had is, what are you doing in that mindset to make sure that these first graders can understand that they haven't been freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, that they need to free themselves mentally from the enslavement of white supremacy, which is still in existence?
That is I teach black history in general, but what you're going to understand is that's a continuous conversation that you have to have over the course of time. So that has to be a conversation that's happening in the home as well. Like you teach a child on that level, they forget it the next day. It has to be constantly reinforced. And so exposing them to the energy, what children resonate with the most is energy. Right? You have to expose them to energy. That's why I bring my drums into the classroom, or I bring the crystal bowls into the classroom, or I bring crystals into the classroom. That's what they resonate with the most. The information is one thing, but bowls, drums, rhythm, crystals, energy, that's our culture. And that's going to impact them later on.
Right.
And
So
this is what okay, you get. Go ahead, brother.
okay, that was me just conversing.
But come on,
it's called conversion.
that's some bullshit.
No, you made a point, and that you.
It's like, look, man,
it's like double dutch. It's kind of like double dutch.
I just had a great thought about what you said. Let me cut you off before you finish your point.
No. It's called double dutch. And listen. One thing I want to tell you is that I've been on major platforms debating. I've debated Brother Polite. I've debated all kind of scholars. Like literally, I know how to conversate. I know how to debate. All I'm saying is it's called conversion. It's conversion.
They call it. We call it tabligh.
Yeah. So you just come in right at the end of a statement so that the brother won't linger on and repeat different facets of what he was saying. So what I'm saying to you, and I want to get to the point because I keep explaining that, is that the key to this and completion is to leave the very environment that has caused us to be oppressed. It's the environment. This is epigenetics 101. The environment affects us. You have to disassociate yourself with the environment completely and teach your own children your own doctrine. You are the schooling for your children. You cannot go to this white man's school within his environment and bring bowls and drums and think, yeah, you will make a little effect on maybe some of the kids, but the obvious effect will be that when they grow up, that they obviously get the point that they need to lead the system. So we're getting all these crystals, we're getting all these drums, we're getting all the balls to get the point. The point is to get the hell out the system. That's the whole point. That's the waking up. The wake up is disassociate, segregate, to separate. That's what we've been saying.
I was agreeing with you the whole time, but what I'm saying is this. Even when you get out of the system, being that you were born in the system, you're taking the system with you wherever you go. You've been poisoned by the system. So the things that you do outside of the system are still a part of the poison.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you go out to the woods. If you're poisoned, you're going to poison everything around you until you clear up the poison within
right,
you.
So how do you
first.
do that? How do you do that in the environment that you were poisoned in? You can't do that. You would have to have isolation from that environment, is what I'm saying.
That's a lie. My father did it successfully. I was raised in that same, in the environment, without the environment, and we were all able to successfully be the way we are until we were brought back into that environment, and that was after my
And that's a prime example of what I'm saying, and that's why.
That was after he got locked up. You talking about something that has been ran for over 30 years successfully, where kids were learning languages from had scholars coming in from all over the world. Our first language was Arabic. You know what I'm saying? We learned Hebrew. My brother know French, Creole. You know what I'm saying? Spanish. So it's different. We had a purpose. We had a purpose, and our purpose was to uplift the Black community and to uplift our people, not just our people, but
what happened in the grand scheme of things? What happened? And we have to look at the results. It's not no disrespect.
Happened with our own people was the destruction.
No, the environment was the issue. Had your father took this to Africa during the Wahhabi, he would not be in jail, but he would still be alive to this day, and people would be still thriving. But he did it in Georgia, which was in the jurisdiction, and that's why he was able to do that to him.
And I agree with you on that one. I agree.
What I'm saying to you is this: had he left and went out of the country, took this to Africa, and built all that he built in Africa, he would not be in jail today.
Yeah, he should have went
part
to
of Africa
instead of Georgia.
It doesn't. One that he had established, because he was a very intelligent man. He was a very intelligent man. One what he had established his own community, and he had alliances to build what he wanted to build. He would not be going through this.
I
at
can
all.
guarantee you from
I mean,
firsthand
I
experience.
don't know if you know, but we
Wait.
also have organizations in Africa as well. We have stores there. We have stuff that is still
No, what I'm
building.
saying is
You know,
if the reason why the Nawabians are lost after he gets locked up, I've seen the Nawabians fall off and they're lost because at the end of the day, and that's why it's so much separation, is because the environment. I watched what he taught when he was there, because I was around when he was like around, and how people were dedicated, and I watched it all fall apart. And it separated. And it was like different denominations of the actual teachings has started, like any other religion,
different. You know,
because of the environment is what I'm saying.
So
Is the environment plays a factor.
Okay,
The culture of the
I get
environment
that,
plays
and
a factor.
I'm the experienced of. I've experienced it myself because I was there. Okay, so I've experienced the back and forth, going through the different stages, everything. You know what? Like my father said, the book is there. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away. And it's really just up to the people. The people really need to just stand up and support one another. In regards to leaving a system, you know what I mean? He also taught us to be a part of that system. That's why there's a lot of doctors and that's why there's a lot of lawyers and stuff like that came out of our organizations, architects.
You gotta leave the system, man.
No. You can't just leave the system. It's not that easy.
When I say leave the system, I'm saying like through the mind first, of course, like the brother said, and a lot of us go to jail and leave the system in our mind. We have to get separated. And most of the most intelligent men on this planet are behind that wall. Why? Because they've been disassociated with society. And I'm telling you that the healing process is in the disassociating with the culture and the mind of that environment. And until that happens, we will never be able to clean ourselves enough to even come up with the solutions to even build anything that's worthy, that's indestructible, that no one can touch.
So now I got a question for you then, Nature Boy. So you've been out of society, and I don't watch the other app or whatever, so I just know about this app. I'm new to social media as a whole. I've only been home for 2 years, but I'm going to tell you this, right? I'm asking you, well, not tell you, I'm going to ask you this. How have you been successful with your movement? Because we know about Malachi Z. York. My thing is, I don't care about the man individual. He's a man. His message still lives. That's a fact. I'm receiving his message today, and I've never heard of this guy. Didn't know anything about none of y'all communities, none of this set, none of that stuff until recently. I'm literally building who I am now. But with you, right? You individually, I'm asking you, how is your message working for your people? Not just you, but for your people.
It's only for those that get it. Like it's like one of those secret society things with me. It's like it's either you're chosen to get it or you're not. It's not like anyone can get it. This is for only a certain kind of person that was chosen to receive the message. This is not for everybody. And even and you have to understand this. What I'm doing, you won't even understand. You probably will never understand what I'm doing, because what I'm building, you can't even see. You can't even see it. It's not something that you can say, oh, it's here or it's there. It's something that's being built at a certain time and space. We're in safe havens and we're able to take over the planet when everything's done.
But you're posting it on the internet though, right?
What I'm telling you is this: what I'm posting on the internet, you're not even understanding what I'm posting on the internet because you haven't researched me. You only get what people are giving you. You've never done your own research on me truly to see what I stand for and what my curriculum is. Because there's so much knowledge that at the end of the day, you would have to go research it, but you don't have the time to. You only get what people have told you, which is not even cool for you to even use as a reference of me.
No, I'm not those other people. When you came up here, remember I told you, first of all, I don't listen to nobody. I literally just did damn near 11 years in prison. I don't know who you are. I don't know about your popularity. I hear about you on this app a couple of times. I don't know nothing. I ran into the reason why I even know of you is because I was on Nafara, what's her name? Page? Nafira page. Mm-hmm. And I ran into your baby mother before. That's when I heard your name. So we have our little conscious community amongst people over there. I don't know anything about your background. I ran into this guy named True to God. He was speaking the same thing that you were speaking about, going off to the set. He was saying me driving around in my Lexus is not freedom and all of this stuff. And I understood what he was saying to a certain extent, but I also felt like he was running from himself. It's like you're giving knowledge, but you're running somewhere.
It's not running, bro.
To seek freedom.
I could say that you're running by staying there.
I ain't ran
What
nowhere.
I'm saying is, I could say that you're running by, in the sense of staying there, running because you're not facing the responsibility of disassociating with it. And I could say that you're running by saying, "Hey, I got too much attachments, and I can't do it." And it's a running in the sense that you're not willing to disassociate. Even Farrakhan, even Elijah Muhammad, his message was to separate. Even Malachi Z. York was separating in a sense. If you see what he was doing, it was in separation to white supremacy. That's been the goal every since.
They never
Wait,
separated.
whoa.
Whoa,
Don't
whoa,
quote
whoa.
my father. Don't quote my father. My father never said he wanted separation. What he said was, y'all devils want to come on our land, and let me tell y'all the devils, y'all can come on, and I'm gonna tell y'all the devils. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Okay. So,
That's
well,
what
I'm
Elijah
talking about
Muhammad said. That was Elijah Muhammad
in
was.
some sense that he was building his own separate from the system, is what I'm saying.
oh, okay,
And
yeah. I thought you were saying something like, oh my
now I'm
God.
saying that you see what
He
he was
wasn't a
building.
racist, because people try to paint him out to be a racist. He wasn't a racist now, you know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, he definitely said, if
I'm
y'all want to
saying
learn that
building
y'all
something outside the system that we can educate our own children. We can educate and do our own thing and not depend on this system to teach them math and arithmetics and all of this stuff. We were the original of all these things. Why we need them to teach our kids? We don't need to teach. Our kids don't even need to be taught. They're geniuses if you leave them alone. They already have what they
So my
need.
question still remains. Now that you understand that I don't know your background or research, or I'm going off of what people saying, I know that's what you used to, right? You used to people coming at you that heard something about you that got a preconceived notion. I'm telling you, with a non-preconceived notion, that's who I am. A non-preconceived notion. I'm asking you, how is it working for you and the people that's following you?
It's working. It's working pretty good. That's
Like
all I
in
can
what?
tell you. It's working pretty good, brother. I can't give you no quickie on how it's working for me. Like I wouldn't even tell you
No.
how.
You don't have to do that.
I
You
would
said it's
never
working pretty good.
publicly
I'm gonna do
tell
the
you.
research.
I would never publicly tell you what's working for me, how it's working for me, and what I'm doing, and what I'm showing online ain't what's going on. That's just a fact. What I'm telling you is, I would never let my right hand see what my left hand is doing. I ain't stupid. What I'm building, I'm just saying that you need to build outside of that system. You need to leave. You need to disassociate with the ways, the mind, and everything. And you being fresh out of prison, you're good. Because if you was doing the right thing in prison, you done stop drinking, you done stop smoking, you got a good head on your shoulders
Yeah, I don't drink or smoke, bro.
to affiliate yourself back into that system. You know what I'm saying? Will perpetuate the problem because it's set up for you to go back to prison anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact. I don't
You feel
drink.
what I'm
I don't
saying?
smoke. I only eat one time a day. My
Yeah,
mind
you
is
already been
100% clear.
disassociated. So it'd be
Yeah,
nothing for you to take
mentally.
you and your kids and bounce. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. We have to mentally do that, but you have to physically do it to mentally do it.
So that's that. I think that's where we were mixing up at. You saying that freedom comes physically, right? And when I told you before that some of the people that I met in prison are some of the freest people that I've ever met. You have to
But
understand what
physically,
that
they're
statement.
disassociated with
Hold
society.
on. But I'm gonna tell you, no, they're not. They're a part. They're an intricate part of society because they're in prison, but they're being programmed in there. That's the thing that people don't understand about prison. You said you've been there before, so you understand. If 11 years of programming. They tell you when to get up. They tell you when to eat. They tell you when to lock it up. They tell you when to shower. They tell you all of those things. Those are major programming systems. But
Right,
my
but
thing is this: these
yeah.
people still free themselves amongst all odds, because
No,
freedom to me starts mentally, never physically.
I'm not talking about when to get up, when to eat, and stuff like that. I'm talking about being disassociated from the drugs. Even though there's drugs in prison, I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to
Everything,
say, bro.
everything in the hood is in prison, nigga. You get pussy, all
Yeah,
that shit. Like, yeah.
all that shit is
What
in
I'm
there.
saying to you is, if you did the right thing in prison and took advantage of that time, you would have just. There's a lot of brothers that are taking advantage of that time and in that isolation and recreating themselves, as
Yeah.
brother Malcolm
Well, yeah, I
X
did
did.
that. I'm a
You know
prime
what I'm
example
saying?
of that, and I ain't trying to brag. I'm a prime example of that. I did a year and a half in the shoe. I don't know what y'all if know what y'all call a hole, but we got a thing called the shoe up here. So I
Say,
paroled from Pelican Bay 2 years ago, and Pelican Bay in California is like a high shoe term custody prison. And I met a lot of brothers back there, and them brothers, when I'm talking about 1,000 book club in a year, The 1,000 Book Club exists in the back there, and there's brothers that were Black Panthers. There's brothers that met Malachi Z. York that started with him.
Heavy.
Some of the brothers that was before him, the Zebra Killers. I met some of these dudes, the Mexican Mafia, the NB. I literally was in cells with these dudes studying the same way that we talking right here and going back and forth. I watched these dudes go back and forth on the
Some of the most
cells
intelligent men are behind bars.
behind bar, and they've been 25 years, 27
That's
years.
where
Look
Young
it up
Pharaoh got
in
all
this
his
shoe in
knowledge. Young
Pelican
Pharaoh
Bay.
got all his knowledge
Yeah,
behind bars. He'll tell you.
yeah, that's a
He'll
fact.
tell you from the
So
5% Nation, he got a lot of knowledge just being behind bars with them dudes behind bars. You feel me? And that's why he like a young phenomenon, because he was with OGs in there and they was putting him up. He was soaking up the knowledge. Not saying that's not discrediting him, because he was the kind of mind that was interested in even choosing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be a certain mind to even be interested in certain kind of knowledge and information. So at his age, for him to be interested and to collect all that knowledge is outstanding. He's a genius. You feel what I'm saying? Is
yeah.
that, you feel me? So I never, you know what I mean? I never like
So
to talk
I
down any
respect
black
what
brother.
you're saying about freeing your body though too though. The only thing I was asking you was you have to be free in the mind in order to even free
Right,
your
but the
body in the
mind
first
can't be
place.
free until the body is. And when I say that, I
I think
mean,
it's vice versa though.
Free your mind and your ass will follow.
no, listen. If you free, you
Your
have to
mind
free
and
your
your ass
mind.
will follow.
Your mind has to be free enough to realize, like, yo, I got to get in tune with nature. That's the key point, and no one wants to bring this up. God is nature. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
God is
That's a
always,
fact.
in African culture, God has always been what sustained your life. Whatever sustained your life was your God. That's why the black woman was God, because she gave you breast milk and that sustained your life.
She's
And that's
still
why he
God.
called her.
Not just because she gave you breast milk, she gave you life.
She gave me life.
Whoa,
And she
whoa,
gave me
whoa,
that X
See, what a lot of
chromosome.
people don't understand is that
Black woman did
essence,
not give you life. Hold on.
that essence,
Man.
but you need
The
that
black
woman,
woman don't
that
give you
essence.
life. The black man gives life. The black
I
man gives
understand,
life.
but the woman produces, the woman helps.
I'm gonna explain it to you. The black man gives life. The woman is the sustainer of all life. She's a sustainer of all life, meaning that if you give her whatever you give her, she's gonna take it and she's gonna sustain it. You give her the life force, the chi.
Facts.
She takes it and multiplies it and makes 1 cell, 2 cells, 4 cells. She actually does what the earth does. Right? This is why they have the gods of earth. If you give the
Yeah.
earth the seed, it will nurture it and sustain that seed and the information of that seed to grow and manifest what that seed has been programmed to
Well, that's
manifest.
100% correct.
So,
When it rains, the water goes into the dirt goes
right,
into the seed, and the seed
right,
produces life from within the water. And
right.
everything is
So
water
the
and
woman
matter.
is
It's
not
the
the
same
giver of
shit.
life; she's the sustainer of life, and we need to understand that the
She's the
man is
giver.
the giver of life. Man is the giver of life. The woman is the sustainer of life. She keeps it
Yeah, but
alive.
you know, without the woman, the man cannot conceive children. So
There ain't no
Either way,
it's gonna
competition though.
acknowledge
it's
Yeah,
not a
that.
look,
competition.
it's not even a
We're
competition
one. Yeah,
between
we're
man and
one.
woman.
Yeah,
One can't deal without the other.
We want
That's
to be,
it.
facts,
and
exactly. It's one energy. That's the whole
Yeah, it's one
representation
energy.
of the
it's
Ankh.
one
You know what I'm
energy.
saying? That's what the Ankh is. The man, the
It's
woman,
one.
the child, the
It's
representation.
and a lot of
That's what that is. You know what I'm
and
saying?
a lot of women today under white supremacy have been given false sense of power and inflated egos by white supremacy because they're the husbands of these white men, these invisible white men, which is the government that gives them this false sense of power. So they start saying, oh, the black woman is God, and feeding her ego, and then they get supported financially, and that's a game. That's all a game. But that
I
ain't
mean,
really my eye. It ain't truth. The truth about the matter is the black man is the giver of all life, and that the black woman is the sustainer of all life, and them together make creation. And without us understanding that true balance, can we not value each other as the components of one entity? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I teach: real balance and truth, instead of inflating the woman's ego that they have today. Right? Because the black man is not valued in our community today, because the black man's job is being taken away from him, which is to protect and provide. Now, when I say that, the government is protecting and providing for our women, so that they're in the way of our job, making us devalued, even as little boys. We're devalued to be entertainers or some of the sort. What I'm saying is that the black men are not needed. Black men are not needed. They're wanted, not needed to survive. So black women have lost respect, because white supremacy has been the man for them, meaning that they provide them with jobs, opportunities, shelter, whatever they need. If they want to open up their own business, whatever they need, they're still supporting the white man's system. His system itself is in the way of the black man's job. White supremacy is in the way of black man's rulership.
That's my job.
Period. Period. White supremacy is in the way of our woman being able to truly value our reason for existing, which is to protect and provide.
No, that's a fact.
You know,
that started with feminism, though, right? After slavery, when white women had to cook and clean for their husbands again, they started a feminist movement because they had 300 years of slavery, and then those black women were cooking and cleaning and fucking their husband. And the moment that they had to do that again, that's when the feminist movement started. It didn't have nothing to do with black women. Black women wasn't even supposed to take on that energy of independency when we've been codependent for so fucking long. And in America, we haven't had 100 years straight of black households without them doing something like 1890 when they burned down Wilmington, North Carolina, when we were buying land. Because after the Civil War, black people were buying a lot of land. We were swooping through a lot of land. We were taking over their democracy, and they came and murdered people in order to stop that. But then people got to understand, as the black men got to understand, the Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the woman is the Holy Spirit, because her physical connection and that intuition that she have surpasses our intuition on a different level. That makes her the Holy Spirit.
Right.
So that means the way you treat your mom is more accountable for who you are.
I wanted to stay on point because you just took it back to a conversation before we was talking about environment. You just said that every time we tried to build something, they destroyed it because it's been in their domain. What I'm telling you is that the environment to this place called United States of America, or we were here, we were indigenous, fine.
Yeah,
we can also migrate the fuck out of here and go back to Africa. We could also migrate the fuck out of here and go back to wherever we need to be to separate.
Yeah,
segregate.
But the problem with that is, this the major problem that I see with that, Nature Boy. There's 12 families, right? Rothschild, the Rockefellers, y'all know about them, but the DuPonts, the Bundys, and the rest of them, and the Collins, y'all don't know about those families. And I encourage everybody on this panel, when they leave this panel, to go on government.org and look up 12 families. Once you guys understand that I don't give a fuck where you go on this planet Earth, although we ran the planet Earth before, those 12 families run the planet Earth now. And that's what I'm saying about a whole nother level of understanding. It ain't nowhere you're going to go to get away from that shit. If they want you, they'll come get you.
I understand that. What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is this. I'm not saying that. And that's another reason to run. That's another reason to not get your black ass.
It's another reason to fight.
It's another reason for you to not get your black ass up and get the fuck out. That's another reason. It's a whole bunch of excuses.
Where are you running to, though? Is the question.
People. No, it's not running. It's not running. This is so shit.
Run.
Hold up. Where are you running to? When I say off the plantation is where you running. Listen, let me say this. And when I say
to another plantation, though, they named that place Africa. Africa wasn't named Africa.
Bro, listen,
they named it Africa. There's a history right there on my wall.
You gotta let me finish my point. I'm gonna be quick.
Wait, I thought that's conversion, brother.
No, it's not conversion. If I didn't finish my point, you got no, bro. It's one thing to have a dissertation, and it's another thing to have a point. Let me finish my point. I'll talk real quick for you. I'll get out your way. I promise you. So what I'm saying to you is this. We have to build ourselves away from the system in a way and not have to fight the system. We can't fight the system because we don't have the weapons to fight that system. We have to build ourselves. I'm giving you this knowledge. You could take it or leave it. I'm telling you what we have to do to be free. You have to build yourself outside of it and allow these people to destroy themselves because they're not paying attention to you. We can't get in big groups. The problem is y'all want to take everybody with y'all. I just told you, take you and your family, disassociate yourself with this shit. Use this money that they giving you and build with you and your maybe a small circle of people instead of building this big ass community that makes it obvious that you're moving. We need to spread out. We don't need to be all in one area, big ass community in one area. We need to spread out like tribes do. And so your tribe and my tribe needs to be spread out. We have to have the same doctrine and spread out. And we need to be disassociated. When I say disassociated, this is a very key point I'm making. You have to be in tune with nature, be able to make your own resources, harness your own water, harness your own electricity, build your own, grow your own food, do for yourself. This is the time, this is the age of Aquarius, for you to be disassociating and doing for yourself. So that when the government falls, you will be in a position for you and your family to be safe. And that brings my next point.
Wait, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
You just did a whole dissertation, brother.
No, because
everybody was quiet listening.
No,
because everybody's respecting, brother.
But I'm stopping right now. You asked me to stop. Listen, what I'm saying to you is that if
all right, let me go on. Let me because you're about to reiterate a point.
No,
You've made these points before. You're gonna say get away from society. I said you had the spirit of the Maroons, brother. The Maroons were brothers and sisters that came from Africa, understood, still held their culture, went into the mountains and maintained their own Maroon societies. You should look up we reincarnated.
Bro, we already know what the Maroons are, bro.
Wait. Come on.
I'm just telling you I know what the Maroons are.
Me off. I was quiet.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm saying I know what the Maroons are. Keep going, bro. I'm not cutting you off.
I'm telling you, you got the spirit of the Maroon, brother. Yeah, and then, but to try to force that spirit on everybody else and thinking that's not realistic.
Man, I'm just telling you what the answer is to our problems, period.
But I want you to understand this, though, boy, right? I want you to understand this. You see this shit? You said the Mayat, right? Truth, justice, balance, order, harmony, right? These people wanted to name in this place Africa. When y'all talking about running to Africa, you talking about running towards white supremacy. And I'm being, wait, hold on. I didn't cut you off. I listened to everything you said, right? Now, you talking about running to a place that they named Africa, and then they conquered a long-ass time ago. Nobody is ignorant enough to believe that they haven't conquered the countries, and Africa's a fucking continent. So they conquered. That shit is no different than America. Hold on, it's no different than America. The bank system that they set off, the whole place is no different than America. This time period is over. When you talking about justice systems, we created that. When you talk about monetary systems, we created that. Mansa Musa was one of the richest men in history. So listen, exactly. So
if that's the case,
we started slavery.
If that's the case, then, bro, you need to do it right where you at. You need to leave out of the system right where you at. There's a brother, his name is King Noble. King Noble lives off the land right where he's at. And indigenously off the land, right? I'm telling you, can do it where you at if you want. But the thing about it is the land is not as fertile because white men have dug all the oil out the land and have raped the land of all the natural resources. So
they did that to Africa too.
No, they haven't. Africa is thriving with resources. Are you crazy? You can never get rid of all the resources of Africa. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I didn't say they got rid of resources. They stole all the resources. They've been raping Africa for generations, man.
This land
they got British accents over there.
This land you're on right now is the states is sick. So what I'm saying is if you had to live off the land right now where you're at right now, which is something that you need to be thinking about right now as a black man, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we can't totally depend on the system because the system is soon to fall. If we know what's going on, if you paying attention to the what's going on currently, we know that at any moment now the economy is going to fall. It's going to crash. When the economy falls, what is your issue? What is your plan? You said you had a whole army in set. Like the Crips is really that organized right now. They're really not that organized, bro.
Where are they not organized?
Bro, the Crips is not organized like that, bro.
I didn't just show you a video of us sitting down the freeway.
No. They're not organized to the point of surviving an economic collapse, bro.
So are you talking about Revelations again? This is the same thing that they was talking about in church.
Bro, you have to be organized in a certain way to survive an economic collapse. Mm-hmm. And the Crips in your neighborhood are not prepared for that because I don't care what you're talking about. Y'all can only rape and pillage the supermarkets.
But Nature, let me explain something though. You saying the same shit
y'all
that
can
Jim
only
Jones said a couple of years
y'all can
ago.
only loot people's houses and and get resources, but till you're gonna have to make
But
your
brother,
own.
you got the same message that Jim Jones had in the fucking 70s. What I'm
I'm
saying
out, yo.
is,
I'm out,
ain't
yo. I'm
nothing
out, yo.
died in the 70s,
Nah,
bro.
bro. Nah, bro. I'm out.
Yeah,
That's
what's
crazy.
the difference?
I can't talk to you,
What's
bro.
the difference between Jim
I
Jones
can't
and what
talk to
you
you, bro.
saying?
I can't talk to you, bro.
Why are you
Cannot talk
running
to you.
now? What you running
Because you
from?
talking about Jim Jones and stuff, and that's just retarded.
I don't
That's
look,
retarded.
man. Jim Jones
That's
And
is the
retarded.
same
Now this
motherfucker
is turning left, right? This is turning left, right?
that's.
All right,
It's retarded, bro.
brother,
You
brother
making
Nature
a
Boy. I
mockery.
think that is. I mean,
You are
not
not having.
exactly, but
Here's
this
the
is
thing. You're saying the same
that
message as Jim
philosophy.
Jones, regardless of
Yeah.
however you want to say it.
Bro,
You're saying the
that's not
same
the
message
truth.
as all of
Wait,
them other dudes that decided to
wait.
lead
Let
to
me.
the wood. Go ahead, bro.
Let's do. We don't have to do a negative one. Jim Jones is a negative representation of what Nature Boy stands for. Let's do the Amish.
No, I wasn't
Right?
saying he's like
No,
Jim
I
Jones.
know, but
Okay.
that when you say Jim Jones, people think negatively. Let's just do the Amish.
The Amish,
The Amish is doing exactly what Nature Boy is talking about. Like just trying to say you're not the only one in the world with this understanding. And so they go off, they live their lives in their way, and they have a whole society based upon like we're not gonna live past the 1820s.
I just hope Nature Boy don't start making Kool-Aid one day.
Wait.
Bro, come on, man. Don't disrespect me, man.
All right.
I don't even know you like that,
But
bro.
so
Like, how you disrespecting me?
Right, so that's the vibration you're coming on. But I have a question, brother. Are you saying your approach is the only viable approach to eliminate and alleviate the pains and conditions of our
My
people in the
approach,
wilderness? Let me finish the question.
My approach
Come on, bro.
is the approach of Elijah, of the great master, grandmaster teacher, Elijah Muhammad. And you can make fun of him. Don't compare me to no Jim Jones. Compare me to Farrakhan, or not Farrakhan, his teacher, Elijah Muhammad. Compare me to him.
Elijah Poole.
No, wait, come out.
What I'm saying to you is when you listen to me. Hold on, when you listen to me.
No, wait.
Marcus Garvey. Compare me to Marcus Garvey. Don't ever compare me to no white.
You can say Marcus Garvey.
No,
listen to what I'm
you can say Marcus Garvey, but you can't say Elijah Muhammad, bro.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
You can't say that,
always compare me to a Marcus Garvey or compare me to someone like that on that line. But not even those people are as not even
Marcus
those
Garvey
people are
worked in the community,
as great as
brother.
my mind.
And so was Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad took more black people off of drugs than any other system in America. He actually stayed in the system and fixed the people in the system and created homeowners to this day. My grandma got her house because of Elijah Muhammad.
I'm talking about what was his plan. His plan was to segregate.
Yeah, segregate within the community.
Nature Boy, you can't do that, brother.
Within
Marcus
that
Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, these are people that are in the with the community, in the community.
No, Marcus Garvey was taking people back to Africa.
Farrakhan is in Arizona right now, bro.
Everybody's thinking about that.
He's taking people back to Africa.
Wait.
Say it again, I didn't hear.
What was the message of the Marcus Garvey? What was the message of Marcus Garvey?
Get him out, take him back to safety.
No,
what about Elijah Muhammad though? Was he trying to take people back to Africa?
Go read the book. Go read the Black Man.
I read all of it.
The Black Man.
The Message to the Black Man. I got the book right here.
It's to leave and go to Africa.
When people compare you to Jim Jones and the Amish, that's what you're manifesting. You're not manifesting Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan.
Brother, you just being offensive. You're being offensive.
No, I'm not being offensive. I gave you the honor of the Amish, brother. I didn't say Jim Jones.
I wasn't even.
Correct. I know you're being defensive right now.
Bro, I wasn't calling this man. Y'all being sensitive right now, bro.
Went through 400 years of slavery, bro.
Y'all being sensitive, man. I wasn't calling you Jim Jones.
You couldn't compare me to Jim Jones because I'm a black man in America. You can't compare me to the Amish because I've been through 400 years of slavery. You can't compare me to none of these brothers. Y'all just don't know where to put me in no category.
You a black Jim Jones, man. What the hell?
Comparing me to anybody.
I'm done with trying to give you respect then.
Brother,
that's the vibrations you're done.
No. Number four. He's the black Jim Jones.
That's within yourself, brother. You can't respect me. Respect comes with this.
I'm a chill.
Let me share
this. There's a lot of arguing across back and forth.
Talking. Just chill for a second. Chill for a second.
I got my hand up.
Number 7. Just chill for a second, please. Kaz, just go into it. 1 second, but Kaz was about to go into Sarah's set. Let him just explain that. Okay? Please?
Actually, no, I wasn't. But
Oh, I thought you were about to.
Come on, man. But go ahead, number 7.
All right, so I'm gonna share this.
I
with
thought
you,
you
right?
said that.
I'm gonna share this with you guys, right? So I've been a vegan for over 30 years. No cheating.
but
I don't smoke. Don't drink. I don't do drugs. Okay. I believe in nature. I live in nature as often and as much as I can. I like to live in the sun. All right. But there's times that I go into the inner city and I take care of those kids where their father is in prison. So when you look at my posts, those are not my biological children. Those children belong to another man that's in prison doing time. Okay? So my thing is that until we go within, everybody, until we go within and research ourselves and become one with ourselves and find out what we're really capable of doing, because we're capable of doing good things and we're capable of doing bad things. Okay? So my thing is, when you're in a community, build that community. It doesn't matter what condition it is in. You do your part. And now with that, I'm gonna give I'm about to take off because this is my work. This is my workout time, and I'm gonna give everybody a gift, and I wish everybody a farewell and a blessed day. Okay.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go. I just want to say, take you and your family. Don't worry about the community where you at, because ain't no unity. Only thing that you got in common is that y'all black and that y'all been through the same stupidity. You take you and your family, and you take you and a couple people that want to build with you. Y'all get y'all resources. They giving y'all free money. Take it, get the fuck out, build your mind, build your community, build it off your knowledge and your information. Raise your kids up alone, away from this shit. And let this shit fall apart so that we can take over this shit. But when we take over, we have to have a certain mindset, and you can't have that mindset within the system that created the oppression that you're under. With that being said, it's been good building with y'all, man.